Hello. I can't hear you. Your mic's muted. Your mic's muted.
Can you hear me now?
I got you. There you go.
Okay. So at any rate, let me get set up here. The issue with me posting has to do with the fact that some way or another, I am listed under a legacy, for lack of a better term. We don't use old in my family anymore. it's a legacy email address that I no longer have access to. So, the issue is that I should be listed under, let me just type it in here in the chat room.
Yeah, I don't think I can change it.
It should be under that email.
Yeah, that's the email address I've got for you.
Oh, really?
Well, that's the one that I've got. I don't know what Wix says.
They've got an old Gmail account of mine. I had a very strange happenstance there, it turns out. Somehow or another, my old Gmail account, and this goes back several years now, got taken over by somebody else. So I just basically, not knowing how to cancel it, I just stopped using it.
Yeah. And
I no longer have access to that account. I don't know if it times out after a certain period of time or whatever. But at any rate, Jim posted my RTL 433 write-up under yours with the stuff you've done on SDR, which frankly makes a lot of sense because it's a common thread.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get that posted, and in particular, I wanted to get the links. There's two links specifically. One is a GitHub link, and the other is the link to the Amazon.
I got home a little late. I saw the email, and then I saw Jim post it, and then I got home late, and then I replied to you saying, you could just do this yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Which is not, it's not a big deal. We can take care of it.
Yeah, well, the other thing is though, that what Jim did makes some sense because it's a common thread. So,
right.
So at any rate, I don't know if you had a chance to read it or not, but
I have. I really haven't had a chance to sit down and do much of anything.
Okay, well, it's not a problem. Not a problem. So Mike's here.
But I'm trying to.
Hey, Mike.
Hi, I'm in the back end of our website, and okay, view contact.
So Mike, what's up?
Well, nothing electronic.
Okay.
Earlier this year, I had a spot come back on my face that had been frozen off about 3 years ago. And they diagnosed it as being squamous cell skin cancer.
Yeah. So is that what I see on your left cheek right now?
Yes, it is. And a month and 3 days ago, they did a removal. And
So this is one of these liquid nitrogen things where they freeze it?
no, they went in and surgically removed it. The liquid nitrogen had been done about 3 years ago. And they took out a lot of tissue. It's a 1/2 inch wide, 1/2 inch deep, 1 inch long incision.
Wow.
And
Doesn't look that bad.
no, it doesn't. Right now it doesn't. But again, it was a month ago. The sutures fell out after 4 days. So I went back and said, hey, this isn't right. And they said, oh, but it looks really good. So they took out the remaining sutures and super glued some steri strips onto my face.
Ah,
And that was on Wednesday. On Friday, I went to hop in the shower and the whole thing burst open.
burst open.
Burst open as in I had another small mouth up here. So,
Oh, sci-fi, real sci-fi stuff, huh?
yeah, real sci-fi stuff. So I call up and they say, well, we'll make an appointment for you for next week. And it's like, no, this is happening now.
Right.
So Julie was a corpsman in the Navy, and she and I together wrestled some steri strips on there just to close this gaping hole in my face. Get up there, and they put in a set of interior stitches and a set of exterior stitches. And so I leave them 2 weeks, go back in, they take out the exterior ones.
But they wanted you to wait a week to do this, right?
Yeah, they wanted me to wait a week. And
Where do you go for your healthcare stuff?
This was a local dermatologist on Breel that was being paid for by the VA. And
But this is a private practice, basically?
Yes, that's correct. She's board certified dermatologist, and I was expecting more. So a week after they take the sutures out, my face starts looking pretty bad. And so I find that the internal stitches are starting to protrude through the incision. So I go back up and they dig around and pull some of those out. And I wait a week and it's like, this is not healing. Without being too gross, there's pus coming out of it. And I go back up and say, this is not right. And so they dig around and found, oh, well, there's some more interior stitches that we left in the incision. So they yank on them and pull those out. And by the way, we're going to take a swab here just to make certain you're not infected. So Tuesday of this week, they call and say, oh, yeah, you do have a staph infection in that wound.
Oh, man.
So over the weekend, after they had gotten some of the suture debris out of there, I squeezed a little bit on it and more debris comes out. So I am not pleased with this doctor's office.
This is all this private practice dermatologist?
This is Jennifer Ridge with dermatology in Middletown on Breel Boulevard. And I'm speaking to my neighbor and she said something to the effect, oh, I saw what she did to my grandmother. I'd never take a dog up there. It's like, okay, little late for me.
This is a bad time to find out.
Yeah.
Wish you would have told me that when I had a hole in my face.
I would like it actually to have been before I had a hole in my face. So I think it is gradually healing, but I was not expecting a month and days for this to be healed up.
Wow. Well, now, are you putting something on it to,
I have been from the very beginning, put antibiotic topical, and now I'm also on an oral antibiotic.
so this is like a bacitracin or something like, or
Yes,
misotracin?
that's exactly what it was.
Excuse me. Mm.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to
You seem to
blow my
have,
nose into the microphone there.
Well, it's just a follow up to my description about my cheek. So
yeah, perfect description.
yeah, fits in perfectly.
Yeah.
Uh, you
Well,
seem to have some of the most interesting, weird things happen to you. It's just,
I'm not looking forward to this stuff.
well, I'm just saying it. Okay.
so were you exposed to sunlight a lot as in your younger days?
As a child, I was as brown as the cabinets behind you. I
Okay.
don't ever recall having a sunburn. Many of the people that were in the summertime with me down at Fort Polk, Louisiana, they got terribly burned.
Yeah.
But I just browned. I never did.
Huh.
And I I've never had anything. This is the only time I've ever had this.
Hmm.
I can. I don't burn. Patty burns. Patty will burn in, uh, it- when the sun is behind clouds, she'll get a sunburn. I just tan.
Well, the UV still gets through. That's the point.
It's
So,
actually worse when it's behind the clouds. You don't realize you're getting it.
that's true. You don't get
We're
the,
on a road trip and we stop at a rest stop. Julie has to put on sunscreen to go from the car to the bathroom. And I look at her like, well, that's crazy. You don't need to do that. And the times that she's done it, the next day she's just pink as can be.
I'm kind of a vampire. If there's sunlight, I don't go out. So, but I grew up in
It
Central Ohio.
burns, it burns.
I grew up in Central Ohio, and I was somewhat like what you described as a kid. I mean, in the summertime, I was either shirtless or had like I do right now, a white T-shirt on.
Yeah.
It was somewhat smaller in those days, but I would get brown, but occasionally I would get a sunburn. And I remember once when I was in my teens, my family and I took a vacation trip to Florida. And the first day out there, I got a pretty good scald. And I mean, it was red, particularly on the top of my shoulders. And then about 2 or 3 days later, I looked like a snake shedding my skin. I mean, it just peeled off. But I don't at home in Ohio, I don't remember ever having a particular problem with sunburn. So
My when I was younger and I was drive the car, this arm was always out the window. So it
oh
was
yeah.
like 3 times the shade as this arm, but it never was burnt. It was just always really, really dark. But people would like, what do you do? How do you get your arm like? I just hang it out the window, just cruising down the road.
I at work, there was a particular refractory material that had coal tar pitch embedded in it, and it was used for lining ladle cars that transported hot iron from the blast furnace to the BOF. And the people, they were just doomed, because no matter how quickly you wash that off, ordinary sunlight would just cause them to burn. We ended up switching them to vampire hours, as you described earlier, and making certain that we had lamps on the interior of the ladle cars that were non-UV. You know, this was prior to LEDs being a common function. And a friend of mine was assisting me in doing some monitoring on them. And he drove from Hamilton, which is not very far, Augsburger Road, New Miami, to his home in Carlisle. And the entire left-hand side of his face and his left arm was burned by the time he got home. Just one exposure.
Jim's here.
Well,
Hi, Jim.
Yep. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
I can see his hat.
That's all you see. That's what people prefer when they see me anyway. They prefer the paper bag, but I'm not wearing no paper bag no more. That's over. Can't breathe.
Yeah, with audiobooks, you don't need to be able to see it, though, do you?
No. How's it going, Art?
Pretty well. And yourself?
You look beat up actually today.
I do.
Yeah, Barry, I don't see Barry today. He's even worse. He's even worse looking than he normally looks. Barry's looking bad today. Dang.
Yeah.
Don't even have his name tag on.
Yeah. I only see 4 people. Leroy,
Yeah, there's only
myself,
4. There's only 4 people.
That's what I'm
Jim,
saying. He's looking bad today. Hi, Mike, Joe.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, Leroy, I had the old, the heat got me again on the laptops, but I'm getting more mature with them. If you got an air compressor, you can blow those things out.
Yeah. Okay.
what's this?
Heat on the laptops. I'm guessing are getting clogged up with smooch in
Yeah.
the fans.
Oh,
Fans.
yeah.
Yeah.
They got a real neat, I think it's a bunch of wires that go to the fan, and the fan blows through little holes. And the little holes are their wire going back to a heat sink on top of the CPUs. And of course they have the grease on them, but I think it's just wire.
So
And-
they're not capillaries of some sort that blow air through there?
No, they would be stopped up. They have a block at the end of the fan with little holes through it, and you know geez, I don't know why they have little holes through it, but it's obviously a little heat sink, and then it looks like I don't know if it would be liquid. At first I thought it was liquid that it was cooling, or maybe it is liquid. I don't know, but you have to, those holes get stopped up and you have to blow them out.
Those holes kind of look like a little screen, almost like a filter screen.
Is there any way you can back flush them?
The easiest I've ever found with those is just to take some can of air and just start blowing them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the holes are for the airflow through. The fan blows through the holes.
Yeah,
And
it looks.
They're small holes.
Yeah, they're pretty small. It kind of looks like a little screen, like a little mesh kind of dealy bob. Hey, I think you said Barry's name too many times. Here he is.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Let's see.
Quiet from now on, yeah.
Here he comes.
Yeah, we noticed Barry
Oh.
is wasn't looking so good today.
So,
Wow.
Jim, I have a laptop cooler if you would like it. It plugs into a USB and has its own set of cooling fans. Then you set your laptop right on top of it.
Yeah, this has got a fan built in and a pretty nice fan, but the circulation goes through these little small holes and they get stopped up. So it's having another fan wouldn't really help it. It just needs to have the holes unstopped. But 100 pounds of air pressure helps pretty good blow out those holes.
you got to be careful with using like a high pressure deal, because you could spin the fan backwards and do some damage.
Oh yeah, it makes a lot of noise. I kind of careful. I suspected that, but hey, I got a new fan and heat exchanger sitting in a box in there now, just in case.
I saw somebody years ago, they did something like that, and they actually blew the fins of the fan off. They
Oh yeah,
hit it so
yeah.
hard that it blew the fins off.
Over,
And then they wondered why it didn't work.
it just went a lump and a lump and a lump. And a lump.
Why it was making noise. It's making noise. Yeah, you think? You got one fin in there going clunk, 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 clunk. I sent you email, Art. It to me it looks like you've set your email up correctly on the site. I don't have access to change your password or to send you a password change.
Well, it has one of those
I forgot my
password links, but the last time I tried to use it, and it's been several weeks ago now. Matter of fact, it was when I was still in Milford. It didn't work for me. On the other hand, I was in a hurry, and who knows?
Well,
I'll try it.
If I remember right, I mean, it's been a while since I set up my account, but the site it is hosted by Wix, but I think when you sign up, you are signing up for a separate account. So you've got a Wix account, and then you've got an account on the site.
Oh, okay.
But
well,
I have no way of doing anything other than verifying that the email is what you think the email is.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because as I think back now, I think that it requested, when you do this business, I forgot my password and so forth, go through the whole shenanigans, and you respond to that, then it says waiting approval or something like that. And so somebody has to approve it. It's not just.
Try it again, because maybe I hadn't approved you as a site member yet. You're an approved site member now, so
I will.
You may have tried to do it too fast or something.
Yeah, I will try it and see what happens.
Yeah. So, but that's about all I can do. I can edit your name and stuff like that, but I can't change your password, or I can't even send you a change of password request. It's kind of crazy. So.
Okay, well, I'll try it out and see what happens. In any case, I've got the posting in there, and it's posted in, I guess Jim posted on your site. And
well, he posted it in the forums, which is just general discussion.
Oh, that is it. Okay. So that's in the forum, but it was relative to your previous thing on SDR?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well,
there's two separate ways to post. You've got a blog post, which you know, is kind of yours and other people could comment on it. And then you've got the forum post, which is more open and public that
It's kind of a
everybody can
party
see.
line kind of a thing then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody who has access to the site can, or has been approved, can post to the forum. Only certain people can post to the blog. And
Okay.
you are one of the people that can post to the blog.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
if you can get into the site.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know what happens. At any rate, I wanted to get that document out there. So particularly the two links that are involved. One is to the GitHub for RTL 433, and the other is the Amazon link for the particular SDR dongle that I got. I don't think there's anything magic about that, by the way. I think that is
That's just the one that you liked and it worked and everything.
well, and it was the other thing that was nice about it was a kit included a cable and some short antennas and so forth and so
Right.
on, so that otherwise, you know, I find if I buy just a naked device, then I've got to horse around and find all the paraphernalia that goes with it. And frankly, for the extra bucks, it isn't worth my time. So,
Yeah.
Especially if it's a one-time occurrence. If it was
yeah,
something
well,
you're going to, yeah,
that's usually the situation. It's a
Yeah.
one-time occurrence. I got to go track down a coax cable with the proper connections on it, and I got to track down an antenna or gin one up or whatever. One of the things I found interesting in setting up that SDR dongle was it was really sensitive to the antenna length. When I had it set at a quarter wavelength at 433, it connected to literally dozens of local devices. But when I had it stretched all the way out, I think it stretched out to something like a yard or longer. It was not nearly as sensitive. So tuning the antenna is a critical item, I found.
They kind of said the same thing with the airplane, the 1090.
Yeah.
The airplane tracker. They said keep it shorter, keep your antenna length shorter, and you'll get better. It'll work
Well,
better.
the point is you want it at a quarter wavelength or half wavelength will work if you're center fed, but if you're end fed, you want it to be a quarter wave. So at any rate.
Yeah, or somewhere at least reasonably close to it.
Yeah.
So
I saw Vicente.
Vicente's here,
Hi,
and
hello.
Ray is driving. It looks
Somewhere.
like. It looks like Ray
Oh,
is
it's not
out
that bad.
there driving.
Is that better? Can you see me now? Can you see me now?
We could
Yeah.
see
we can see you, but it's not necessarily better.
Oh,
Damn you guys.
Hey, Mike.
Oh. All right.
Gosh,
Don't drive off the road, Ray.
I'm sitting in a parking lot.
Oh. In what time zone?
Seattle, Washington.
Okay, Pacific.
Okay. Yeah, there. I'm
Ray
close to
doesn't
the
know
ocean.
where he's at. I'm
Close to the
somewhere.
ocean.
And
I'm on
Ray,
the
I
planet Earth.
apologize. I apologize. There's virtually no filter between my brain and my mouth.
Yeah. Don't worry about the video filters. The one for your mouth, that's the one I'm gonna worry about. Okay.
So you drove all the way to Washington, or you flew there and are in
Oh.
America?
I am not gonna drive all the way to Washington. That's craziness.
Yeah, that's for
No.
sure.
I flew into SeaTac, and then I had a customer in Portland, a customer over on Gig Harbor, and then 2 schools up in Seattle. So I'm going to be heading from here to the airport. So it's all good now, I think.
Okay.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's up and running. So
Yeah.
I'm good. Happy. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Vicente, how you doing?
Great. I'm fine. Almost finishing the backyard remodeling. Finally. Oh my God.
Well, any main projects you guys been talking about lately, or did I miss anything today?
I'm just connecting now, as you. I don't know.
Yeah.
You were talking about radio scanners, right?
The SDR radios, yeah. Talking
Um,
a little bit about the Wix website that we've got going on, but
Mhm.
there's no overarching big project right now. So
Yeah, I
my,
posted my.
um,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've been very anxious about my laser machines. I got the 2 metal cutting laser machines coming, and they've been in processing. And I told the factory that I wanted to come see them operating in the factory, and I wanted to see how well they could work, because if they didn't pass my inspections, that they could keep that shit. So they told me last week that both laser machines were ready for inspection, and when was I coming? And so I went and checked with all the flights, and I had to go get my vaccine shots, and my second shot, which is required for flying to China, I cannot get that until after May 23rd. So I told them there's just no way I'm going to be coming to the factory, so they're going to have to just ship it without having an inspection, and they're going to send a technician and everything, an engineer, to do the installation at the warehouse. And then they told me how much the shipping container has changed costs.
Yeah.
So the shipping containers used to cost $5,000, $52, $5,700, depending on weight, and now they're $16,000.
holy
Wow.
cow!
Is it because
They
taxes or just
because of governments that are just swinging their manhood around to see who's in charge, and they're jacking up prices on everything. They've got all these shipping containers that are supposedly stuck on the West Coast, but I'm driving around, I'm thinking this is crazy, because all I've seen are mostly empty container yards, and I've seen property where they're like, yeah, here's shipping containers for sale, buy a shipping container, rent the shipping container. I don't know why the shipping containers aren't going back to China, because they're not sitting around here, and I'm here looking at the harbors. So I guess I'm upset. I feel like somebody's lying to me, to saying that all the shipping containers are stuck in Seattle, or stuck in Vancouver, or stuck in somewhere.
I noticed that all the eBay all the AliExpress stuff is increasing in price a little bit,
Mhm.
every item. So maybe related to the shipping costs.
Yeah, well,
I actually had something bookmarked on eBay because I had found it at a decent price, $250. I
Mhm.
went back to buy it this morning
Yeah, another
and it
price.
was like 360. And I'm like, what the
Everything changed the price.
What would you pay $250 for? That's
ham radio?
crazy.
A ham radio. and it's not like I really need it. So I just kind of said, well, you jack the price up over $100. There's no way I'm buying this thing now.
Uh,
It was
I
already
I used to buy
expensive.
these. I used to buy these foot pedals, or just safety foot pedal, like keep your foot on it in order for the equipment to run. I was paying $3 to $6 each. And the price has gone up to $9 to $17 each.
These are
And
OSHA pedals.
yeah, it's like a dead man switch. Keep your foot on
Yeah,
it for the equipment to
yeah.
run.
And it's got a 2-cent micro switch in it.
Yeah, it does. Actually, they're like 20 cents, but yeah, it's a stupid little micro switch on the inside.
That
just
micro
the
sensor
made
was
of aluminum.
at 20-cent micro switch is now $1.50.
It's crazy.
I have an unlimited supply of those because microwave ovens die all the time. People throw them out, and there's like 6 of those on the interlock.
I've got thousands of the cherry switches. We use them on the Arduino robots. So yeah, at least I had thousands and thousands. We put all that stuff up to Ashland, and we were all excited about how the Ashland students were doing a good job, and they were all gung ho. And all the really good gung ho students graduated.
Roy, you know there will be a ham radio convention in Senia this year?
The hamvention,
Yeah,
as far as I know, it has still been canceled.
canceled.
Yeah, it's
Was
canceled.
it canceled
There's
or
no way
virtual?
they could.
Okay.
Yeah.
Canceled.
To my knowledge, there's just nothing going on that as far as the ham radio convention.
Okay.
It's just gone. It's just turned off for now.
Yeah.
So that's the Dayton Hamvention?
Yeah.
That's right.
The date,
2 days.
let's see.
Well, it was the Dayton convention. Now it's just not.
According to the website. Here, let's see if I can bring them. We got 5 minutes. Should be.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes, a little past 5 minutes.
According to the website, they've got some virtual stuff going on, but
That's really no substitute.
No,
yeah,
not to be there and touch the
Sad.
stuff.
looks like they got some virtual stuff coming.
Wait.
Oh, there we go.
My dad and I actually had considered having our own little ham convention over at one of my new buildings, if we can get it cleaned out fast enough.
There's been some small ones, but the small ones are usually just that, they're small.
I agree. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's those the little radio conventions that were over on Route 4 between Middletown and Farmersville, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
That the little one's always in the parking lot. And I think there's a little store that they did on the inside.
I
that was
there.
always small.
I saw you. I saw you there
Yeah.
years ago. Remember? Yeah.
Yep.
There's
It's really small.
up there just above Germantown.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, just north of Germantown. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's always in the back parking lot, and there's 15 or 20 tables and
Yeah.
not much
Not
much
much.
else. It's like a little
But you know,
food
at
market.
least they had
Not
some
even.
decent prizes. Everybody was being nice.
Yeah.
You know, you run into people even though you're trying to hide, but it's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of
I think
sad.
if I could, I could. I've got that building's 1,300 hook. It's 6,000 square feet. It's all open on the inside. That would make a nice little swap meet convention building.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, you've got that would be all right. That would be all
Gotta get some lights in there though. Yeah.
right. Just tear the roof off again. Let the air in. Let the natural sunlight.
Take the roof off.
After you spend all that money to put a roof on, just tear that roof off.
Oh,
How
gosh, you have
many
no
people-
idea.
How many people keeping them six?
We're only like
feet
6
apart?
people inside the building. Everybody else has to wait in their car until the other 6 people have left. Oh my god.
Milford Hamvention is always pretty good.
Where is that? Is that Milford that I live in, or is that the
Mhm.
different Milford?
No, it's Milford where you live.
Yeah, it's
So
east side of Cincinnati.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know where Milford is. I have a house there. I'm just wondering where.
Do you
Where-
remember?
I just wondered where they could possibly put a hamvention in Milford.
What's
Oh,
in
it's
this
not
house? The
just
guy lives in California.
Convention. It's a little one. Just a little one.
Did you hear
Good
what
Lord.
Barry say?
What?
No, what did he say?
That at the house of the guy that lives in California.
No. Hey Barry.
Do you rent the out, or is it like empty for anybody to go and squat?
And there's a specialty on security cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
The last time wasn't it at a church last couple years ago?
A church.
Yeah.
Well, we got plenty of those, that's for sure.
East Side Christian Church on Montclair Boulevard.
Montclair.
Yep.
Trying to think. I don't know where Montclair is.
I don't know. I know I've been down there a couple of times.
I always like going up to I guess like 2 hours north of Dayton, an hour or something north of Dayton.
Lake Erie.
No, not Lake Erie. That's way up there. I'm talking about, like, was it Tip City?
Yeah, there. You're talking about even further up, like what is that? It starts with an F.
Sydney?
No,
Sydney.
24
Finley?
seconds.
Finley?
Finley.
Finley. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, Finley's is always a good one. I don't get up
Okay.
there very often now.
We will see you in
Couple
minutes.
seconds. Yep.